Everyone, hope everything is going well. All right, I'm going to be doing more of these videos now. It will take a little time for me to put the data together for the global M2. And when I look at global M2, I'm mainly going to look at the United States. I'm going to look at Japan, China, and the ECB countries. Right now, I just looked at the M2 in the United States. People will be like, that's not enough data. I understand. I've always looked at M2 and now I just wanted to plot it against, each other. And what I noticed is that money supply in the United States topped out in what? When the bull market basically topped out. So the S&P over here was like what, 4,700, and you saw money supply like top out, and this was like late January. Money supply topped out, what is it, March of 2022, right around there. And we still have not seen the highs in money supply. Okay. And that's quite, I wanted to get the exact data for March of 2022. It's like 21.7 trillion. Okay. If I go all the way down, as of like November, it's 21.47. Okay. So we're not even at all-time highs with money supply in the United States, and the stock market's ripping. Now, the argument would be look at global M2. And global M2 has been lifted at least this year. I haven't looked at the data from the past, but let's change this over here for the date. Sometimes it does that. Date. Okay. So you have this. The global M2 has gone up close to 2.5 trillion. We don't have the December data, but this is mainly because of China. And you see Bitcoin has gone up because of, liquidity from China, Donald Trump winning, in my opinion. And, you can review that over here. Okay. Now, I want to take a look once again, last 4 years of global M2. There's a lot of manual work that goes into finding Japan and finding the ECB. So I will be doing that information. I will be putting that together. And, I have limited time, so I'm not going to be, you know, getting that out like ASAP. But I do want to look at that information because I do believe that money supply, and you could also say credit, have a huge influence in providing liquidity to the markets. And I want to look at this over here where the S&P was what, close to 4,000, a little over that. I remember that in October. This was, right around the geopolitical event that we saw. And you could even go back over here because this is where I think money supply decreased. This is like what, April. I told one stockbroker, hey, look, we want to be buying. It's like an account that my mom and I share, and that's managed. I have my own account that I manage, but there's another account that is with my mom and me. And money supply bottomed out in what, April, basically, March of that year. And it's been going up slightly. And you can see right around the time here of, April, March of last year, stock market's been ripping. But I think there is more to that story, and that is liquidity coming into the markets with reverse repos, liquidity coming from there. And also, you want to look at, this is crazy. If you look at it, I put a yen versus S&P chart, and the yen is in orange color. Maybe I'll expand that. And the blue is in the S&P. And, they're not going in the same overall direction, but the trend is weaker yen. You see the yen at like 130 around here about a few years ago, 130.44. And then where you see it right now, or as of November. And, you see it close to the 155 mark. I mean, the other day it's like 157. You know, long the yen, but it could take some time for that trade. And especially with interest rates going higher for the time being, they follow hand in hand. I'm going to look at the yen and the bond market very closely. But, the yen gets too weak, the dollar gets too strong. That could be potential headwinds for the economy. But right now, yen carry trade, I used to do videos on that back in the day. It's, borrowing a weaker denominated currency and take that money and invest in, US based assets, as long as the asset prices are going higher, you're making money. But what happens when you're not? Then you have to close that trade and people get out right away. They freak out. So right now, markets have been going up, yen's been weakening. This trade overall, not going in the same direction, but you can see, okay, liquidity from the yen carry trade, money supply in the United States. Now I want to look at global M2. That is a huge project that I'm going to look at. And I think more people need to start looking at globally the liquidity that's coming into the system. There's so many metrics out there, but it's just simple. Money pouring in, well, it has to go somewhere. If you take money out of the system and you decrease the level of the increase, if that makes sense, money is not going to be chasing the stock market or other markets like it has the last few years. So this is something we need to take a look at. And this could give a clue to the future performance of these markets. And my mind has not changed with commercial real estate. I mean, my cousin told me he knows a commercial real estate broker, and he said that he's struggling. Like that, I believe, is going to be the next shoe to drop. And what would probably be the catalyst? Less money flowing into the markets. And you have to look carefully at the United States M2 and China's global M2 or China's M2. Those are the two big um, players in this global economy. Anyways, let me know your thoughts. Talk to you later.